The next great resource for local weather is now available.
DigitalWeatherDesk.com is your source for up-to-the-minute local weather. Add DigitalWeatherDesk.com to your favorites, download our app, and follow me on social media. The Digital Weather Desk, powered by Century Next Bank.
Everybody, welcome into the Digital Weather Desk powered by Century Next Bank. What's next for you? Visit cnext.bank for more. And thank you so much for joining in on this Monday. Won't take too much of your time because there's not a lot to change in the forecast as we set up for the evening and really through the middle parts of the week. We stay warm, we stay cool, we stay dry. Temperatures tonight drop below freezing for a lot of the area. The fire weather risk remains higher than normal for our area, especially with the drought conditions, the breezy, dry air in place. But temperatures warm up for the middle parts of the week. Cold front Thursday brings some showers, maybe a few thunderstorms, and then the weekend looks pretty quiet as well. Check of I-20, and really the only snags we see right now are out toward Pecanland Mall. Everything else seems to be moving okay for the time being. As you take a look at what's going on by the mall, again, this looks to be kind of like accident related. I don't know anything for sure, but just wanted to show you the cameras. Cameras made possible by LADOTD. These are all the different traffic cameras in town. So again, they make all that possible. A look at temperatures across the region, 40s to 50s, and even some areas nudging back to near the 60-degree mark this afternoon. 56 in Monroe, 59 in Alexandria, 54 in Camden, 45 in Greenville. Again, a lot of folks along the Mississippi Valley did not warm up much today. Again, compare that to where we were 24 hours ago, and a lot of spots are running a good 3, 5, 8 degrees cooler across the Mississippi Valley, where folks along or farther south and west are trending generally pretty much in step with where they were at this point yesterday. The dew points are quite low, very dry air in place. Winds are out of the north, and they are quite breezy. They've hovered right around that 10-mile-an-hour threshold as expected through much of the day. A reminder, a fire weather warning is in place across portions of the Mississippi Valley, the areas that you see there in the magenta pink color. Again, really that falls in line almost perfectly with the areas that are dealing with extreme drought conditions. So be mindful of that. I believe the only burn ban, at least in northern Louisiana, is in Wynn Parish. But just I know a lot of folks are burning a lot of the vegetation left over from the ice storm. Just be mindful that it's pretty dry out there, breezy, and you may want to wait at least a couple more days until humidity values climb just a tad. Infrared satellite does not show much. The radar does not show much in our area either. The radar, every shingle product made possible by Brown's Roofing. Obviously, the nor'easter continues to move through the northeastern coastline. It has been a snow-packed 48 hours for a lot of those folks, anywhere from a foot to 2 feet of snow in some locations. Heaviest snow they've seen in about 10 years, perhaps even longer, across portions of the Northeast. For us, it remains quiet. High pressure sets over the top of us for at least the next couple of hours. It allows temperatures to fall pretty quickly tonight. Cloud cover will set back in as a front stalls across the region starting Wednesday, continuing through Thursday. That'll be the focal point for showers, maybe a few thunderstorms before that front gets a final nudge through the region. That should punch some slightly cooler air, ever so slightly cooler air in for the daytime hours on Friday. And then temperatures warm after that, probably back into the 70s for the upcoming weekend. Lows tonight near the freezing mark. Again, if you didn't drop below freezing this morning, you probably will tomorrow. And a lot of areas could spend at least appreciable amounts of time below freezing. So if you have outdoor plants and pets that can't tolerate the cold, bring them inside. But for a lot of the plants that are at least somewhat resilient to freezing temperatures, and you can maybe bring them into a porch that has a ceiling fan that circulates or something like that where you can just keep the air mixed up a tad more. Most of those would probably be okay tonight, but obviously you know your plants and your situation, so if you need to err on the side of caution, please do so. May, good evening. Have a blessed night as well. High temperatures tomorrow. Climb back into the 50s along the Mississippi Valley. For those folks that were stuck in the 40s today, you at least get back into the 50s. The rest of us climb back into the low to mid-60s through the afternoon. 7-day forecast made possible by 3B Hardware. Really haven't had to tinker with much from where we left the forecast earlier today. Mid-70s for highs Wednesday, Thursday, with the rain chances up to 40, maybe even as high as 60% in the southern counties and parishes on Thursday evening. Mid-70s for highs this weekend. Could fall back into the 60s on Fridays. Friday, we'll keep an eye on that. Morning lows fluctuate more than the highs do as we continue to trend well above normal for this time of year over the next 7 days. 5.5 minutes. That's how long it took for the forecast, which is wild because a lot of that actually that includes a 30-second countdown and my flapping my gums between before that. So let's call it a full 4 minutes, which is wild because in my previous life I usually only had 3.5. Now 4 minutes just seems like, man, we flew through that. But that's where it is. And when we need to take longer periods of time, we will. But at this point, it is a very, very quiet week ahead. We'll keep an eye on the rain chances Thursday. Tonight, we will drop below freezing. So, again, be aware of that. That's really the only significant hazard we encounter this week. And the weekend looks to be fairly nice. Forecast is always available at digitalweatherdesk.com and on the Digital Weather Desk app, available for Apple and Android users. Fishing Games set to come out at 8 p.m. tonight, made possible by First South Farm Credit. And I've got to go pick up a memory card because I just bought a cool camera to maybe produce some more outdoor content. We're getting our new fence put in, so our backyard will become a little bit more of a more home felt setting. It just looked like storm damage. So we're getting all that replaced now. And maybe we'll get outside as we get into the springtime and do some more outside content so we're not just sitting inside all the time. I think that's a good idea. But then I bought that camera and it didn't have one of those little SD cards, so now I got to go buy one of those. Because I didn't read all the instructions that say, hey, this doesn't come with this. Because I don't read anything. Forecast is always available, like I said, on the app and on the website. Mr. Eddie, good afternoon. Thanks so much for dropping in. I will check in with you first thing tomorrow morning. Of course, tomorrow is just kind of a normal content day. 3 live streams. We'll have your Too Long Didn't Read at 9:30, Fishing Game at night. You know, that old chestnut. So I'll check in with you then. Thanks so much for stopping by the Digital Weather Desk, powered by CenturyNext Bank. Enjoy the rest of your Monday, and I'll see you in the morning.